Started. The first thing I want us to do today is to talk about, for homework, you wrote a paragraph to talk about a holiday. So both of you would have talked about a Japanese holiday. So you don't necessarily have to think of it as a presentation, but I just want you to share what holiday you wrote about, what holiday it is, what you do, and all of that. So, Yuka, will you go first?
Okay, so in Japan, coming of age day in Japanese holiday, which on the second Monday of January.
Second Monday of January. Okay.
Yeah. On this day, people celebrate and encourage all 20 years older.
Okay, so people who are 20 or older, or 21.
Yes. 20.
20.
20.
So everyone celebrates on the same day.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you also celebrate like on your birthday?
Yes, birthday also celebrate, but January 2nd Monday.
But the second Monday is just for everyone.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that. What is it called in Japanese? What is the name of the day in Japanese?
So, women wear the traditional kimono, and after the ceremony, they are drinking party.
Of course.
Yes.
That's fun. Do you remember when, like, is it, so you celebrate every year after 20? It's not just your first year that you are 20. It's everyone older than 20 celebrates.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. I like that. Very fun. All right. Miho, what holiday did you talk about?
In Japan, on January 1st of New Year's holiday, so extended family gathered at our parents' home. Adult gives a New Year's present to children.
Nice.
And we decorate the gates with pine trees at home. And we eat a traditional meal and rice cakes with our family.
Oh, fun.
And we did kite flying and a battle door card board game with relatives.
Nice.
That's all.
Good. So this is the new year on January 1st.
Yes, a big holiday.
Yes. Interesting. So you usually spend New Year's with your family?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole family.
Your whole family all comes together. Yeah. Interesting. In America, I feel like people celebrate New Year's with their friends.
Oh, friends. That's friends.
Yeah, with their friends. So I think the last few years I have spent New Year's with my friends, and because you do Christmas with your family, so you see your family, and then in a week you spend time with your friends for New Year's. So that's interesting that you do New Year's with your family. Oh, very fun. Now, in Japan, do you celebrate the Lunar New Year? Yeah. And separate from the calendar New Year? So we have, like, on January 1st is the solar New Year. So it's the calendar New Year. But there is also the Lunar New Year.
Oh.
Do you celebrate the Lunar New Year?
Lunar New Year's, no, we don't celebrate.
Okay. So it's just the one New Year.
Yes.
Nice. Very exciting. That's fun. Are there any holidays that you, well, I'll ask this, I guess. How do you celebrate these holidays here? Does the Japanese community in Lexington celebrate Japanese holidays?
Every year, we celebrate Japanese festival every summer, but this year, no festival.
Yeah,
Japanese
because of
festival.
the virus.
Yeah.
Okay, but so there are a large enough Japanese community that you do get to celebrate some of these holidays here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we celebrate so some Children's Day, Christmas with my friends.
Nice.
Yes.
Good. Okay. I always wonder because when I lived abroad, we didn't celebrate a lot of American holidays because we were not in America. And so I always wonder if you are able to, if there's a large enough group of people who also celebrate the Japanese holidays. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. All right. Today, I want us to look a little bit at the worksheet that I sent you yesterday. So I know I sent it to you a little bit late, so it's okay if you are not finished with it. I want us to talk a little bit about it, and then that will be your homework for the week. Before I do that, something I want you to do, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little box that says chat. The button that says chat. So if you see that, could you type your name in the chat?
Oh,
You see that?
your name chat.
That way I can keep track of who comes to class in the chat. Perfect. Perfect. And Miho, could you also type your name in the chat?
No, I can't.
You can't see, it does not let you type?
Yes. Where is stopping?
Okay. That's okay. I will check on that and see if I can figure out how to make it you able to. So Yuka, I have you, and Miho, I will remember that you are here. And I'll check on that so that we can keep track of who all is here. Okay. So what I want us to talk a little bit about today is location. So how do we describe location? So some of the words that we looked at in the vocabulary are already about this. We have words like bordered by and center and central. But I want us to review a little bit, make sure that you are very clear on it, and make sure you're able to do the homework. So let me share my screen. All right, so this is the worksheet that I sent you for homework. So the first part of it, I just want you to practice a little bit some of the names in English. So you know all of these countries and bodies of water in Japanese. I just want to make sure that you're practicing some of them in English, just so you have some of those in your mind. And then I want to look really quickly, just review. I'm sure that you already know these, but I just want to make sure they're really clear, particularly North America and South America, and then the oceans. So the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, and the Pacific again over here. And then when you were in school, when you learned all of the oceans and the continents, Did you learn the Southern Ocean?
Yes, I did.
You did. Miho, did you?
Yes, I did.
Did you? We did not. I did not learn the Southern Ocean. That was not something I was taught in school. I was always taught 4 oceans: the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, and the Arctic. But we never learned the Southern Ocean. So that was something I learned as an adult. So I wanted to make sure everyone else, all the other education systems are doing great. That was just me. Okay, good. Good. All right, and then I wanted to double check also with the directions. So we know north, south, east, and west. Those are pretty standard. But I just wanted to double check with the in between. So in between north and east is northeast. Between south and east is southeast, southwest, and northwest. So north and south always come first when you're talking about the in between. Is that true in Japanese?
Yeah, same.
The same? Okay, interesting. In Chinese, it is switched. In Chinese, it's like east-north or east-south. So that's just a cultural or a language difference. So when I first started speaking Chinese, I learned north, south, east, and west, and then I said them wrong. I said northeast, but in Chinese, and so I was switching them. So just like Japanese, north and south comes first.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, I want to look at how we describe where something is. So a lot of times when I lived abroad, I would tell people that I was from Kentucky, and no one really knew where Kentucky was. And people probably know where Japan is, but if you're describing your city in Japan, you might need to give them a little bit more information. And so I want to look at a few things, a few vocabulary things. The first is this phrase, south of, or north of, or east of. So when I would describe Kentucky, I would always say Kentucky is south of Chicago, because people know where Chicago is. And so if you're using this, you're talking about something that your city is in the direction south of. So you could say it is south of Okinawa, or it's south of or north of the beach. So we could say Kentucky is north of Tennessee. So what city in Japan are you from? What city did you live in Japan?
I'm from Nagoya.
Nagoya, okay. Miho, what city?
Yes, me too.
Oh, also.
I live in Nagoya too.
Oh, interesting. So if you're describing where Nagoya is in Japan, how do you describe it?
South of Tokyo.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
South of Tokyo.
South.
So Tokyo is here and Nagoya is here?
Yes, down. Yes.
It's below it?
Below.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. So like if we want to describe where Lexington is, what is one thing you could say based on this map? Where is Lexington in Kentucky?
So Lexington is
northwest of Frankfurt.
Okay, so Frankfurt is northwest of Lexington.
Frankfurt is
So when we talk about using this, we're talking about we're moving in the direction away So you're moving in the direction south away from Chicago. So we could say that Frankfort is northwest of Lexington. So if we want to go the opposite direction, we could say Lexington is what direction of Frankfort?
Northeast.
Northeast?
Northeast.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Oh,
Good.
southeast.
Southeast.
Good. So Lexington is southeast of Frankfort. So Frankfort is here, and if you go southeast, you go to Lexington. Good. What about if we want to talk about Lexington and Louisville? Lexington and Louisville.
Lexington is west of Louisville.
Lexington is what direction of Louisville? Oh no.
West. No, east.
It's
East of Louisville.
Good. Good. So Lexington is east of Louisville. And we could say Louisville is, we're talking about from Lexington.
West of Lexington.
Perfect. West of Lexington. Perfect. Good. Good. So this east of is talking about if you're going from Louisville to Lexington, you travel east. If you're going from Lexington to Louisville, you travel west. Good. Good. Good, good, good. So we can also talk about, so one of the vocabulary words was this idea of bordered. Our vocabulary word was bordered by. But we can also put direction in that. So we can say bordered to the north by, or bordered to the south by. So usually we use this to talk about a country or a state. So if we look at Kentucky, we can say Kentucky is bordered to the north by what states?
No.
Ohio, Indiana.
Ohio, Indiana. And we could probably also say Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, so it's bordered to the north by Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. So this northern line of Kentucky is bordered. What about to the south?
Tennessee.
Good. Tennessee. Perfect. And then what about to the east?
West Virginia or Virginia.
Perfect. East by West Virginia and Virginia. There we go. And then there's one more state that we're bordered by.
West.
Good. To the west by
Illinois or Missouri.
Good. We're going to say Missouri because we already said that Illinois was to the north. But you could also say it's to the west because it's northwest. Good. By Missouri. Perfect. Perfect. So originally when we talked about bordered by, it was talking about it usually talked about how many states. So if you just use bordered by and you don't give a direction, you can say Kentucky is bordered by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states. And then to give people a better idea of where it is, you can be more specific to the north, to the south, to the east, and then to the west. Good, good. So this is also true of like water. So if we talk about the river, so the Ohio River goes all along the north of Kentucky. So you can also talk about, you can also say things are bordered to the north by the Ohio River. And this is more common if it's like an ocean. So a lot of times oceans are people's borders. So if we look at the United States, how could we describe the east and west borders of the United States? So how could we use this bordered to the north, bordered to the south, east, and west to describe the United States?
Time zone.
You could talk about time zones. You could talk about that. Good. Good. We can also talk about the countries and the oceans. So just like we said, Kentucky is bordered to the north by Ohio. How do we describe the United States' northern border?
America is bordered by North Pacific Ocean.
Good, good. It's bordered by the North Pacific Ocean. And then if we want to put a direction, if we want to do north, south, east, and west, what else could we say? How could you be even more specific?
East of North Pacific Ocean.
Okay, good. You could say the United States is east of the North Pacific Ocean. Good. What else could we say? How else could we describe the North Pacific Ocean and America?
America is west of North Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, good. It's west of the North Atlantic Ocean. Good. And if we want to use bordered, we can say America is bordered to the west by the North Pacific Ocean, or America is bordered to the east by the North Atlantic Ocean. Good. Good. So you can say is west of, is east of, is north and south of, or is bordered to the west, bordered to the north, all of that. All right, the last thing I want to talk to you all about specifically, and because Japan is an island, I want to talk a little bit about the word center or central. So what does center mean?
Middle.
Yeah, in the middle of. In the middle of. And central is the adjective of center. So if something is central, it means it's in the middle. So for example, we say Lexington is in central Kentucky because it's in the center of Kentucky. And we can also say that that Kentucky is in the center of America because it's surrounded by other states. So sometimes you will hear people who live on islands. So because Japan is an island, Sri Lanka is an island, they will say that they are in the center of the Pacific Ocean or in the center of the Indian Ocean because they are surrounded by the ocean. Okay. Good. I just want you all to practice this a little bit. So for your homework, oh, you can't see that. Let me change over really quick. Ooh. So for your homework, I want you to practice describing your home country. So describing Japan. It says what countries is it bordered by. So you won't have any countries that it's bordered by. But you can talk about, is it bordered by any bodies of water? You can talk about, you can either talk about how it is in the center of the Pacific Ocean, or you can talk about how it is bordered to the west by the Sea of Japan and bordered to the east by the Pacific Ocean. So you can be very specific or you can be more general. You can talk about to the east, to the north, and then just what continent it is. And then the last thing that I want you to do is this part where it's circling the country described. So you'll read the description and then just tell me which country it is. So it's one of these three, one of these three, and one of these three. So just reading it, you can look at a map. So this one is Europe, this one is Asia, and this one is North Africa. So you can look at a map and figure out which country I am describing in these little paragraphs. Okay, so this first page of the homework is all just about location, about describing where things are, how you do that in English, and how you be very specific about it. And the second page of your homework is just, it's just vocabulary. So it's just going back to that vocabulary that we've been practicing and doing some fill in the blanks and some organizing. Okay, do you all have any questions?
No.
No, okay. Okay, for homework, it's just this worksheet. We will go over it a little bit and practice some more speaking on Monday. And then we will move on to a little different portion of the same unit, but we'll look at something a little bit different. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We'll go over this on Monday, and I will see you all then. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy the sun. Try to stay cool. It's going to be very hot, I think. Yes. All right. Have a good day, guys.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.